Hello everybody, and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division here for the Easter Classic Tournament in Golf Clash, the game video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, make sure that you do hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get the Ultimate Tournament Guide for Rookie Division or any other division in the game by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, the elevation adjustment, also the ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that all of that is suggestions. You don't have to follow what I do suggest, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're going to play with the quarterback as a driver. The reason we're going to play with the quarterback is because we do want to have a lot of curl. We do also want to have a good accuracy. The accuracy is really going to help, especially if we do hit perfect. 3 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right. We aim up to the left, and we're going to go max curl to the right. And in this case, I'm playing with full overpower. And the reason I play with full overpower is to make sure that we do get as far up possible, but also to make sure that with a great ball to the left, a great ball to the right, it won't be that much affected as due to such a good accuracy. Maximum distance plus 10 for the drive. Second shot is going to be somewhere between medium and maximum distance of your club, and here I strongly recommend to have the first bounce with your short iron on the green. So I'm gonna use 4 bars of backspin, leaving the ball guideline short. The reason we leave the ball guideline short is due to the fact that we do have such a crappy ball guideline, and we don't want to come in too hot and miss our chance for an eagle in that way. So this one I'm going to play approximately 80% of my club, which is 2 decimals less than maximum distance. So, and it is with a 10% elevation due to the slight downhill approach. Perfect ball, and you see we bounce nicely on the green, and then we roll and we just barely creep in, and you know, I will take that because in whatever way we drop, we're definitely going to be okay with that. Hole number 2, and we're gonna have a good chance to make an hole-in-one in my opinion. Now I'm gonna play this one very similar to what we have done in the golden shot. Blue ring to the left by the sand trap line, top of the blue ring by the start of the fringe. Now you can see that the ball guideline is left of pin, but that is just how it should be. You should only focus on the blue rings. 2.8 backspin and then 0.4 bar of side spin to the left is what I'm doing here in the video. Now, we're gonna play maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, power 1 ball setting. And then it's time to hit our shot. Perfect ball. And you will see it bounce on the fairway and then down towards the pin. It looks like it's gonna be close, and we just barely missed that one on the right hand side. Needed a little bit more, a decimal more, than we would be getting that one to drop. But this is a very good chance in my opinion. Pretty simple par 3 where a great ball to the left or right with your shot is not gonna have any type of impact in a negative way. It's just that it's going to be a simple pot or a simple wedge for a birdie. But if doing it correctly, then we will have a good chance for an hole-in-one. For hole number 3, we're going to start with the big topper. Max topspin, 1 bar side spin to the right. And now we're looking to do a double bounce over the rough and the sand. And the reason we're going to attempt this more or less aggressive drive is due to the fact that if we're going to have to lay up short on that cliff, it's going to be a very difficult shot to get to green into. So that's why we're taking a more aggressive line using the big topper and a Titan ball. We use overpower based on how much we adjust into overpower. So you can see there that I did adjust approximately 1 ring into overpower. Then I use 1 ring of overpower to compensate for that. And you see that the ball bounced nicely on the fairway twice before it bounces over the rough and the sand. The line lands nicely on the other fairway, and we'll lay up for long iron. Now we're gonna back up a little bit here. I want to play into that little sticky spot. You can see that I'm wiggle left and right, and I'm still in that sticky spot, and that's going to be a bit forgiving when it comes to attacking the pin here. I'm using one top spin and a little bit of left spin, trying to aim, with the ball guideline pointed towards the pin. The problem though is that when you do not have a ball guideline that is that good, which Backbone level 7 ball guideline isn't, then it's going to be a little luck if we do get this ball to drop. This is in general a tough par 5 to have an albatross on, because there is so many bumps on the fairway and then also on the green. So obviously I'm very pleased with getting an albatross, but how many times do you get an albatross by hitting great? Hole number 3, play the double bounce drive, which is the key to put yourself in a decent position for the second shot. Hole number 4, another par 3 of the Sakura Hills that gives us a good chance for an hole-in-one. Now we're going to start with the red ring by the rough line. I'm using 1 bar of topspin. And now I'm looking to aim slightly right of pin, as the green is going to fall slightly down to the left. We are a little bit too far to the right though, so we need to move a little bit more to the left. Like half a green square more to the left would be better. Playing with a power 1 ball in headwind. In crosswind and tailwind we can play with a power 0 ball, and obviously you won't go in between clubs in tailwind or crosswind, but the risk is in headwind to do so. That's why we play with a power 1. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and you can see that the ball bounced nicely on the fairway and it rolls down towards the pin just on the right hand side. And that's why I wanted to say to move a little bit more left. The reason it shows that we actually went way long is due to that slight downhill green that is just after the pin. So the ball is not coming in too hot. We just need to fix the direction a little bit by moving a little bit more to the left as our initial aim. Hole number 5, and now we're gonna play into headwind. If you play into headwind, make sure to use a power 2 ball minimum. You can use a power 3 ball as well to make sure that you do not need to go with that much overpower, but I'm gonna stick with a power 2 ball as we do have a lot of room on this fairway, so it shouldn't be that difficult to get the ball to where we want to, even though we hit great. Maximum distance plus 10, we are using 4.5 bar topspin, and we are trying to get the ball down to approximately where we are now. A little bit more or a little bit less yards, doesn't really matter. 340 to 350 yards, absolutely perfect. Second shot, we're gonna play a negative minus 25, so it's an uphill adjustment here, a pretty massive one. And now you can see that I'm going to play a rough bump, and you may not feel comfortable with that, then you should just play to land the ball on green, because if you're gonna have a chance to drop this one, you're gonna have to play for the rough bump that I'm playing. We'll play for the bottom part of the rough, and we're gonna use topspin here in this case to have the ball guideline go through the hole when it comes to headwind. If it is tailwind, we're gonna leave it just slightly short of pin, and crosswind to the pin. The problem, or like the tricky part with this shot, is the elevation here. I'm playing this one in between minimum and medium distance, minus 25% elevation, but we should have played it minimum distance instead, which would have been a difference of 0.2 rings. We hit the rough approximately where we want to, just a little bit too much to the left, and speed is coming in perfect. Again, this is a tricky shot, but it is a very makeable one. You need to find the spot that I showed you there in the rough, and you need to just make the correct adjustment. But once again, have in mind that if you don't feel comfortable with a more aggressive rough bump like that, then you just land it nicely on green. For hole number 6, we're going to play with the driver that gives us the most power possible. In this case, that is the extra mile level 5. Using 4.5 bar topspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right. I'm picking a power 3 ball, not so much for the drive, but most especially for the second shot. And you're gonna notice where we're going towards once we are lining up the second shot. Adjustment, maximum distance plus 10 is what we're looking for. And now we're going to bounce the first bounce on the fairway, over the rough and the sand, and roll as far down as possible. Perfect ball is what we're getting, and we are once again looking to get the ball as far down the fairway possible. If we do have a short drive, we will be in a little tricky spot, and that's why it is very important to push this drive as hard as you can. Second shot, we're gonna play for a rough bump. Now, I do understand that there is players watching this video that might not feel that comfortable with a rough bump here by the green. If you don't, then you obviously can bounce over the water. But truly, I do believe that the rough bump is an easier shot than bouncing over the water. 3 bars of backspin and half a bar of side spin to the left. Aim at the pin with the ball guideline, and in this video here I do adjust maximum distance plus 10, but I would recommend to play maximum distance plus 5, which would be more the true elevation for this shot. We line up, we adjust, and we're going to try to hit perfect. Getting a perfect ball, and now you will notice that the speed is absolutely brilliant, but we're coming in a little bit too much to the left, to the right there, and if we would just have been playing the correct elevation, we would be getting that one to drop. I do believe that this is a very nice and good attempt for an albatross, and I would say this one is it's by far the easiest of the par 5s of the Sakura Hills to drop an albatross at. Hole number 7, the final of the par 3s. Here you can see me first trying to play with a backspin shot, but you can see there that we are not going to have any, it's not going to be enough to get the ball to bounce back towards the pin, so that is out of the question. So I'm going to play with a Goliath rough bump. You can see here that I'm aiming for the very top of the rough line to make sure to not fall short, because now we're going to adjust from a higher point to a lower point. So even though the position looks scary, it's not going to be that scary, as we are basically just compensating for how the ball will act in the air. Maximum distance plus 10, power 0 ball settings is what we're using. And then obviously try to hit perfect. Gonna bounce into the rough nicely, and we roll down towards the pin. Unfortunately, we do over adjust a little bit too much, so the thing that we could do is that we either change the elevation, but I would more go and move my position approximately 1 ring more to the right as the starting point. The problem we do have with doing the rough bump is that we do not have a club with a good ball guideline. So those of you having the possibility to play with the Grizzly level 7 plus, then play with the Grizzly instead to have a better ball guideline and therefore a better chance. Those of you that do not feel comfortable with the rough bump at all, play with backspin, land the ball on green. You will not get a hole-in-one at all, but it will be a safe way for the birdie. For hole number 8, I would like us to play with the quarterback, mainly because of the accuracy, but also due to the curl. I'm using a power 2 ball here, 3 topspin, 3 bars of a right side spin. We're aiming for the ball guideline to just go straight down the fairway, but that is not where we do want to end up. Adjust maximum distance plus 10. You can see that I'm using approximately 1.2 ball outside the adjustment ring to the right in curl. I would recommend to go with just 1 ball of curl, because look how close we are to the rough on the right, and obviously getting into the rough is not going to be something that we do want to. So reduce curl a little bit compared to what I used there in the video. And obviously, if you do have a headwind, you may need to go with more overpower. If we do have a tailwind, I would recommend to go with no overpower, then you just push up to max instead. Now, we're gonna play, the second shot is gonna be with a thorn. And here you can, if you feel uncomfortable going for a dunk, then you can go with a max backspin shot, aim for the ball to go past the pin and then roll back. That is not a bad shot, but as the green is very uneven, it is difficult to get that one as we want to. So, with the dunk, I would recommend to not go full backspin. The reason for that is that if you hit the pin with full backspin, the ball will 100% go into the bunker. So, if you reduce the backspin and hit the pin, the ball will not have that kick as we are used to. Back from the pin into the bunker, and will most likely stay on green, or in the worst case scenario be just in the rough. I do adjust in between medium and maximum distance here, minus 5% elevation, so 75% club, and getting that one in for a nice eagle. Once again, the dunk is a skill that I understand is not something that everyone is having when playing, especially from front tee, but I wanted to display the two type of options that I want us to attack the pin. So either the dunk for a much better chance for an eagle, or we go for the backspin shot to take away the risk of hitting the pin and fall outside the green, and then just have a much more harder time to get the eagle on hole number 8. We're gonna end up with hole number 9, and hole number 9 is going to be very difficult for those of you that do not have the possibility to play with the big topper. And the reason I say that is because we do want to have all the topspin possible for this drive, because we have a long way until we're getting to green. I'm also using a power 5 ball, a berserker ball that you can win for free in the golden shot, and I think on this hole it's most especially important to use, because if you use a power 3 ball, you might come into a situation that you may not reach for the green in 2 at all. Maximum distance plus 10, we add as much topspin possible, and once again trying to gain as much power possible with your drive. Second shot, I play with the wood club that gives us the most power. The big dog is the club for this shot. I'm using 2 bars of right spin, and you can see here now that I'm stretching out to visualize to have the ball guideline on the green. And I'm not going for the pin here, so the albatross is out of play from my playbook at least. I understand that there will be a possibility to maybe go with a guardian to use a lot of backspin, but then you will have to have a longer drive, and then again having lower level clubs like we're having here is not going to be helpful. That's going to be a problem for us, and therefore we play a more general way to just secure the eagle, and then the albatross will, if so, be like such a major bonus. You will notice that you will see in your brackets a lot of players making a birdie on this hole, because it is a tough par 5 and you need to really think what club and ball that you play with. So make sure you follow the suggestions here in the video and play with the correct club and ball and gain an advantage over your opponents. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough with various type of win for rookie division in the Easter Classic tournament here in Golf Clash the game. So if you do have any questions, let us know. You can get the ultimate tournament guide for rookie or any other division on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Once again, thank you for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.